Hello. I'm sorry, I had a broadcast before this and I had a call come in and I had to pick it up. So I just got off quickly. Hi. If you're watching the rebroadcast, don't forget to give me some hearts and also to share with your followers. If you're not following me already, follow me because I scope every day. Yeah, every day. I miss some Sundays, but at least I scope Monday to Saturday. So this is my first scope of the day. I want to show you my setup. So I've realized that I'm wasting my Periscope content. When I download it on my phone, on my iPad, it's narrow. I don't like the quality of the video. So today, let me show you what I'm doing. I'm going to record myself. Let me just turn that off, then back on. I'm going to record myself. Hey. And let me just get this right. Just so that I use my content wisely. If I can just find my record button. That's it. Okay. So, I'm recording myself. So this, if you care anyway. So, good morning, Jennifer. Good morning. Okay, so this is going to be a bit weird. I'm guessing I probably am going to look more at you on Periscope than at the screen, but it's worth trying and seeing if it works. So, for those that don't know, my name is Adura, and I am a personal trainer based in Lagos, Nigeria. Quick one, I trained in the UK, lived in the UK for about 17 years. I've just come back to Nigeria over a year ago, so I'm having a good time here. Thank God for that. Yeah, so like I said, I scope every day, and most of my content is useful. Sometimes I just have like a random chat, but hey, I think people can relate to most of the things I talk about. So today's scope is about running. Now, the reason why I started this was because I went running this morning, and I can't remember exactly what inspired me right now. I think I've had a few questions from people about running, and I have a history with running. I don't really run that much. I've gone from someone that used to sprint. I only did 100 meters and 200 meters at 100 meters and 200 meters in secondary school. I ran for my school as well, so I went for a lot of invitational relays. I went from that to moving to England, gaining a lot of weight. I'm not doing any exercise, obviously. Then I went from that to losing weight, losing over 40 pounds, starting to understand I had to be healthy to stay. I had to eat healthy to stay in shape. So I started exercising. I did a few things, and I finally started running, and that's where running started for me. I have a long story short in my running. I started running. I followed a training plan for a 5K race, and then from there I kept running. I did loads of 5Ks, loads of 10Ks, and 2 half marathons. Funny thing is, after my second half marathon, I had an injury. I found out later it wasn't actually an injury, but I'll explain that later. I had an injury, so I stopped running. And during that time, while I was trying to recover, a physio told me what to do instead. I fell in love with strength training, and I kind of never looked back. I've never really enjoyed running. But then I moved back to Nigeria. I'm not as active as I was in the UK because I had to run everywhere, catch the bus. I was a spin instructor. I was teaching 3 spin classes a week, so I was getting a lot of cardio from my lifestyle and from my classes. So I had to then learn here that, okay, I still have to get some cardio in. I'm not teaching spin classes right now. I might start again, but I won't even go up to 3 sessions a week anymore. It was just too much for me. So I started running again. So that's like me, full circle. So now I run maybe once or twice a week. I also aim to do sprint intervals at least once a week. So I run at least once a week. So if it's only once I run, it's sprint intervals. If it's twice, it's going to be sprint intervals and a run, about 3 miles. So that's 5 kilometers. So that's where I am. So the first thing is I said how you can run for longer. So the first thing is from my personal experience, I started running the first time I tried to run a longer distance. I have a funny story, but I don't have time to talk about it. If I can, I will. But this was from secondary school, which was a million years ago. But when I started running, I saw a training plan online. I was going to run a race for life. That's for cancer research, and it was a 5-kilometer race. And they had a beginner's training plan. And this is actually how I met one of my good friends and how I got into running and fitness. Really, it was a 6-week training plan, and it gets you from not knowing how to run at all or run for long to being able to run for a 5K non-stop. Funny thing about me was I tried to jog once for 30 seconds and I couldn't last 30 seconds. I wasn't overweight. I'd lost all my weight then, but I was out of shape, and that was I was surprised. So the first day of my training plan was just jog for 30 seconds and walk. Oh, that's a shame, Jennifer. Hi again. So the first day was run for 30 seconds, jog for 30 seconds, and then walk for a minute or a minute and a half. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it felt like hell. I mean, running for 30 seconds or jogging felt like I was running a marathon. I couldn't believe it. So I started from there. I did that, I think it was about 8 sets of that, and that was a real major workout for me. And we progressed from that slowly. We went up to doing that for more sets. Hi Amaka. Hi, I know it's you. From that name, I'm sure I know who that is. So I went from that to being able to progress over time, increase the sets and increase the running time. I remember one time I looked through the training plan and I saw in 1 week it was jog for 5 minutes and then rest for, I was like, I'm never going to be able to run for 5 minutes. Never. Absolutely never. And guess what? I did run for 5 minutes, and I ran my first 5K race ever, and I didn't stop at all. Forget the time I did it in. The main thing was a huge achievement for me that I went from not being able to run, not being an endurance runner at all, coming from just sprinting in secondary school to being overweight and not exercising for years, and then running a 5K. So that was a huge achievement for me. So over time, I did more and more. I ran a lot of 5Ks. Yeah, you got to shout out, of course, you're famous. Amaka comes to my classes, and she just come back from a holiday, first class yesterday, and yeah, it's nice to have her back. She's a special person in many ways. Okay, so yeah, so I went from that to running 5Ks, 10Ks, 2 half marathons. Okay, so that's my story, right? That's how I learned how to run for a long time. But obviously, as a trainer and with my experience, my personal experience as well, I learned some things about, even though that worked, that wasn't the best way to run. Because I did not realize, I didn't really learn much about how to stretch. I was told to warm up, but I didn't know exactly what to do. So, and this was before, everyone was like loving, like Google was everything. This was before then, so I didn't have as much access to information. So, good morning, Angel Niger. How are you? Yeah, so I didn't have access to a lot of things that we have access to. Like today, you can go online and say, how do I jump? And you see like 50 videos or millions of videos on how to jump. But then I did not really have that kind of, Jennifer, you can do a 5K. Trust me, I can send you the training plan I used. But just make sure you couple that with your strength sessions, your stretching as well. But I know at least you're Jules' friend, so you can never go wrong. I didn't even see you come in. Hi, T-Bad. hello everyone. Taya, I didn't even see you come in. This is my first time seeing you in the scoop, actually. Hi, Taya. So hello, Tayo. Tayo is here as well. Angel Niger, Jennifer, everyone that's here. If I know you or I don't, I know it's you. I clicked on your profile. I know it's you, Tayo. Yeah. Hi. So what was I saying? Hi. Thanks to me. Okay, so let me go on because I'm sure people are like, what's she talking about? Well done, Go J1 Go. I have to always click. I think that's Jite. I see your handles first before I figure out you. I have to click on your profile to know your name. So Jite, well done. £240. Wow, well done. Okay, so I have a few things here I'm going to talk about really quickly. So I don't have this scope on for forever. I'm recording this as well for my YouTube channel, but I have a feeling that it's not going to work because I keep looking at you. I'm not looking at my camera, so I'm going to look special unless I explain to them that I'm on Periscope. Okay, so let's go. So first thing, that's how I did it. Now, I'm happy to share what I did, but I will not anyone that I'm training right now, I won't advise them to just follow that plan because I wasn't educated on other things. And I'm going to talk about that now. So the next thing I said was how to avoid injury. Now, this is the problem a lot of people are having right now. I have too many people telling me about, oh, my knee hurts, my knees hurt. And I ask, and most of the time, not always, but most of the time, they either run a lot, or maybe they don't stretch, or they're not wearing the right shoes, or maybe they just do a lot of plyometrics, like jumping up and down in classes, but they're not landing properly, so that's technique. So anytime anyone says their knees hurt, I always ask these questions. One, what running shoes? Yeah, exactly. One, what running shoes do you wear? Most people say, oh, I wear Nike, something, Nike this, Nike that. Oh, I'm just wearing these random shoes I bought. They were like £20 or $25, or just sold them in some some store here in Nigeria. I just bought a pair of shoes. Okay, that's problem number one, the shoes. I learned that the hard way. When I started running, I was wearing just like some old Nikes I'd had for like 3 years. I'd used for everything. And then I started having, I wasn't having knee pain, I was having shin splints. So I was having like weird pains in front, like my shins. And then my hamstrings were fine, my quads as well, and my ankles, just weird pains. And I didn't understand. I was like, I'm sure I'm running fine. What's wrong? Luckily for me, I had friends that were trainers and they told me that I should go and get a gait analysis. And that was, sounds fancy, but I wish, in fact, I'm going to try and bring that here to Nigeria because I think that's an amazing thing. So I went for a gait analysis, and I was told they recorded how my feet were landing on a treadmill, and then they said, okay, Adria, this is how your feet land. These are the kind of shoes that work for your type of your gaits, like how you land, how you run. And that was it. From then on, I don't think the only time I had a knee injury, I'll tell you about it, and that was very stupid of me. But since then, I've had no problems. Again, apart from that, is the shoes you wear. Make sure you're wearing like specialist running shoes. If you're in a place that you don't have access to all of this, like gait analysis and stuff, it's good to first of all start by going online. Maybe look at how you run. Go online and find out what overpronation is. I think it's superpronation as well. Just check. Go online and see what that is about. I'm not saying you should prescribe anything, but it's better to at least try if you don't have a professional around you. You can go to a trainer can help, but if not, just go online. Google is your friend. Find out about how the best running shoes out there, right? And also find out about how your feet land. You might be someone that, look at your trainers. If you have trainers, I don't have any trainers here, but if your trainers, like this is the left, this is my left, so you're right, and maybe on one side it wears off a lot, that shows that you land inwards. So that's a kind of thing that has to be corrected. Or if the outside is you land the wrong way, or you run on your heels, or you run on your toes. So those kinds of things can help you figure out what kind of shoes you should be wearing. That's one thing that can help. But for me, I know this is bad because I know Asics shoes are not the best in the world, but I usually tell people to start off with Asics shoes just because, one, they worked for me, and they've worked for different people that I've known with different issues, like different styles of. So I always tell people, GTA, they are fantastic. So I always tell people, start off with Asics, especially when you don't have access to gait analysis and all that. If you have access to that, please get it done. I prefer you do that than listen to what I say, because there are other brands of running shoes. There's Brooks, there's Saucony. Those are the two I know a lot about. Could landing inward contribute to IT band issues? Landing inward, let me think about that. Yeah, it could. Yeah, I'm going to talk about IT band as actually I'll talk about IT band later. It could contribute to that as well, because you know the IT band, even though thinking about it, yeah, it could. Running can, and that's why you should have a foam roller to help with. Oh, sorry, Dami. Brooks are good for heavy runners, and Saucony too. Good tip. Thanks, GT. So that's something to look into if you are heavy. If you're not heavy, I know what you mean. Like do you mean heavy like landing heavily, or heavy in weight? Just clarify. Okay, so shoes, I always tell people, if you don't have access to anyone to check your gait, or you don't want to go through all that stress and not get it right, start off with Asics shoes, okay? Then I'm sure you've noticed there was a phase where I switched to Brooks, and it was a lifesaver. So Dami is wearing Brooks, so you see Brooks work for her. I usually tell people try Asics first, but I'm not sponsored by Asics. I wouldn't mind being sponsored by them. Okay, so Jite is saying if you're over 100 kilos, Brooks and Saucony work. It's not specific to just heavy people, but she's just saying it provides better support for heavy runners. So I'm sure you went through. I'm sure everybody heard about barefoot running. Some people heard about, some people didn't. It was like when they started making those 5-finger shoes, and people started running with like it was almost like simulating bare feet, because they found out that really we shouldn't be correcting how people run. We shouldn't put like insoles, orthotics and all that kind of stuff. People should run how they walk, how they naturally walk, because you're changing their natural mechanics by changing what's going on inside their shoes. So now I'm sure you've noticed that a lot of brands are doing lots of shoes that are very lightweight. Okay, IT band is getting, yeah. So make sure Jennifer, your physio should be giving you some prescriptive exercises to do. Like when I had my issues, I had to foam roll my IT band all the time. I had to strengthen my glute medius. There were so many things I had to do around just having IT band issues. So there's always a cause for IT band issues. So yeah, thank you, Jite. So we've started making shoes now that are very lightweight. And that's because they're trying to get people to run in their natural way. So if you're someone that your feet roll in, run that way, because that's how you walk and you've been okay. Do you understand? But no, I don't have a video on foam rolling, but I have to do a video on foam rolling. I will do a video on foam rolling because I have my foam roller in my car and I meant to record a video on foam rolling, but it never happened. So Jite, just disturb me this week. I'll record this. I have a lot of time for recording this week because I have a lot to record. So I will do the foam rolling. Just remind me by Friday if I haven't done anything. Yeah, so foam rolling video. Okay, so that's shoes. I can talk about shoes forever. But yeah, I'm just going to say, I'm sure you started seeing lightweight shoes. And those work for a lot of people. But I will still say, if you try lightweight shoes and minimalist, like she said, shoes, and they don't work, just go back to the drawing board. Maybe just try the other kinds of shoes first, after. But I usually say, now that people ask me, I actually say, try the lightweight shoes first. Let's see what happens, and then we take it from there. Okay, so that's shoes, but there's a lot to say about shoes. I'm not going to name a brand because anyone could watch this, but there's a brand very popular that everyone wears their shoes, and I think people need to be careful with that. Not just because it's famous and it's flashy and all that stuff doesn't mean it's good for your running. So just be careful of that. Don't buy shoes because everyone wears them or they're popular. If you start wearing those shoes and you have injuries and you can't explain them, then you know that you have to try something else. Okay, so that's the first thing, your shoes. Next thing is strength training. So when I ran my second and last half marathon, I never want to run a half marathon or a long distance race ever again in my life. I just did all that running because I did not know much about what to do to stay in shape. I'm not a long distance runner. I enjoyed it while it lasted, but it's not. So what was I saying? Yeah, so strength. So when I ran my second half marathon, at the end of the half marathon, my left knee was in agony. Like I was like, oh my God, I've injured my knee. I was like so dramatic about it. And I just thought my life was over. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't go for classes at the gym. I couldn't go for spin classes, regular bodyweight classes, nothing. I couldn't run. I just thought, oh my God, my life is over. I'm going to be fat again. I'm very dramatic. So finally went to see a physio, and the physio told me that, look, there's nothing wrong with your knees. The problem is the muscles around your knee are very tight, right? One, you are quad dominant, which means the quads are the muscles in front of my the thighs. I'm quad dominant because I used to do a lot of squats and not enough for my hamstrings. So when I was running, I used my quads more than my hamstrings. My core wasn't very strong as well, so I wasn't like staying upright. And then I had weak glutes, not my entire glutes, but the glute medius. And think of your body as an entire chain. Every muscle is connected. So because of these little things, and my IT band was very tight. IT band, I'm wearing shorts. I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to stand up because they're so short. But yeah, IT band is the muscles. Is the iliotibial band. So it goes from your ilium, I think it's called, all the way down to your tibia. Okay, so that it runs across the hip joint and the knee joint. So if that muscle is tight, it's going to pull on the knee. So I was having the pull from my IT band, the pull for my quads, and I have another muscle. It's oh god, I've forgotten the name now. It will come to me. I can't remember. It was the muscle right here, just right there. This muscle. Oh god, I can't remember. It's driving me crazy. But anyway, that muscle as well was tight because of my ITB as well. So all those issues caused a lot of pressure, put a lot of pressure on my knee. So anytime I tried to do anything, I was in agony. So what caused this? Two things caused this. One, I wasn't strength training at all. I was just running. I was going for spin classes, but that's not strength. And I was doing lots of cardio-based classes. I wasn't lifting weights. I wasn't doing anything. So that meant that I had weak glute med, and the exercise that I had to do to fix this were just so boring, but I had to do it. So I'm just telling you now, so you avoid all what I went through. Strength train. Now, what kind of strength training should you do? That's a different video. If I can talk for an hour, and I don't want to do that because I have a lot of stuff to do. I don't want to bore you. Okay, so there's a lot of strength training you have to do to help you with your running. What I had to end up doing was strengthening my glute med, which meant me doing lots of single leg exercises. So don't shy away from single leg squats, single leg deadlifts, single leg toe touches, anything single leg. Add that to your routine today. Okay, work on your knee stability as well. So do a lot of single leg stuff like hopping and side to side movements. Just do a lot of functional movements, right? Next thing was I wasn't stretching, right? So I used to run, I wasn't warming up, and then after my run I wasn't cooling down or stretching. I just stopped running and I just carried on my day. And this caused a lot of tightness, and this also led to my injury. I don't want to call it an injury, but let's just be very brief and say it was an injury, because that's what it felt like at the beginning, until I found out what it was. So I wasn't stretching. So what I found out, I learned over time was, okay, I wasn't doing yoga by this time, so I wasn't as supple as I'll say as I am now. So I wasn't stretching, and I was just super tight. So what I started doing before I started doing yoga, even though I still use the foam roller, was I started foam rolling the tight muscles before I ran. Yeah, exactly, I'm Jennifer. So I started foam rolling my tight muscles before I ran. So I used to do my ITB, my quads, because those were my main issues. And I was still doing my other prescriptive exercises as well. I was strength training, and I kind of took a break from running for a few years. I'll be very honest with you, because I just felt, look, I hate running anyway, and whatever. I used to do some sprint intervals, but that was it. Then fast forward to when I moved to Nigeria, I found out after 6 months, I found like, hey, look, I'm starting to feel a bit heavy. I'm still eating right. I'm still doing everything right, but I don't feel like myself. I was like, oh, I spoke to my friend, and she said, look, the only difference is, and that's Jules Fitness here on Periscope as well. And she said, look, Adira, the only difference, because you're eating right, you look okay, like healthy, but the only thing I can tell you the difference is, and I should have known, is that you are not teaching your 3 spin classes a week. You don't live in London where you have to walk everywhere. You have to run for the bus. You have to run to get the tube. You have to walk down the street to shop. Walk, carry your heavy bags. I was working out every day without trying in the UK. Come to Nigeria, I drive everywhere. I don't teach spin classes. I wasn't getting my cardio exercises in. I was doing loads of strength. So I was getting stronger, doing loads of yoga, but not enough cardio. And so once I added that to my routine, I was fine. But anyway, come back to what I'm talking about. So running. After applying all these things, having the right shoes, for me, touch wood, this is definitely wood, but having all the right things in place, and I'm hoping that I'm not going to jinx myself, and I'm sure I'm not, but having the right shoes, my ASICS shoes that work for me, strength training a lot. My legs are super strong. I can make them stronger, but I know my legs are stronger than they were before. Stretching a lot. I love yoga and I love to stretch. All my classes, anyone that comes to my classes tell you immediately that I spend a lot of time on stretching. Even before our classes, we do a lot of warm-up and mobility work. It's so important. So that's a big part of my running as well. I'm the person you see on the bridge in Nigeria here, stretching, like spending time stretching instead of just going straight into my run. And everybody needs to do that. So my tips on avoiding injuries, obviously there could be other factors, don't get me wrong. You could actually hurt your knees. Some people run too much and slowly you start to there's wear and tear, so you could actually damage your knees from that. Or you can have a problem with maybe like a joint that you don't know about, and like a chain, it travels up maybe from the ankle up to the knee, affects the knee, and so it could be anything. But my main tips on avoiding the obvious kind of injuries, or to at least give yourself a better chance, is check your shoes. One more tip on shoes: don't buy shoes that are exactly your size. So I'm a 7.5, UK 7.5. So all my running shoes are 8. Really, I should wear 8.5, but 8.5, I think I'm actually between a 7 and 7.5. So 8 is a good size for me, because when you run, your feet just swell up a little, and you don't want your shoes to be tight. You don't want to rub against the back of your like your Achilles, or rub against your toes, because it makes it uncomfortable. I had like black toenails from wearing tight shoes. I bought size 7 shoes because it fit fine in the store. I did not realize that I had to bring up the size a bit. So when you get your shoes, make sure they're good shoes, not crappy shoes. How do you get into yoga? How does an abject beginner get started? Program recommendations. Jennifer, you can watch it again, watch the rebroadcast. Gita is asking about yoga. So I got, toenails fall off. So I got into yoga. How did I get into yoga? So this is a different story. Honestly, I can talk forever. I've been talking for 25 minutes. But quick one about yoga is I hurt my back from a stupid thing, again, because I wasn't stretching. This is why I'm a stretching advocate. Hi, Amaka Afi. Amaki Afi. I've forgotten your name. Afi, anyway. Afi. Hi, Afi. Nice to see you. I haven't seen you in ages. So I got into yoga because I wasn't stretching, and I pulled a muscle. My mid-back was very tight. I used to do loads of swings and loads of exercises that really tightened up my mid-back. And one day I just turned to the side to pick up a light kettlebell. Well, light for me anyway. And I just felt like someone ripped out my spine. That's how I felt. I was so upset because I just left my job to work. I feel to work in fitness full time, not up to a month, and I did that. I couldn't teach classes. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't train anyone. I was terrified. I tried to teach a spin class that same day. Yeah, nice to see you. I tried to teach a spin class that same day, and I actually almost cried. I had to put on like my poker face, but I caused myself more harm than good. I went to see a chiropractor, and I was told that, look, it's just because you don't stretch. And that's why I love stretching. So because of that, I went for Bikram yoga. They're doing an offer where it's like £20 for 20 days. And I'm a Nijebu girl. If you're Nigerian, you know what that means. I love my money. I was like, wow. For classes that are £20 or £15 per class, 20 days for £20. I couldn't do any other kind of exercise. So I was just going for Bikram yoga every single day. The first time I went, I was terrified because there was loads of back bending. I thought, my back hurts. Why would I do loads of back bending? But then I found out that back bending and forward bending increases the flexibility of your spine and reduces the risk of you having back injuries. Just so you know, you need reason why lots of people have back injuries or back pain, not injuries, or back pain is tight hamstrings or pulling something when you're working out, poor form, or just having an inflexible spine. So inflexible back. So just So because of that, I did Bikram yoga for 20 days. Got me tired. I'm not going for a Bikram yoga in class in like 5 years. I was tired of it because it's the same thing over and over again. But that got me into yoga. Tips on where to start. Go to www.doyogawithme.com. I'm going to write it here so you can take a screenshot if you must. Doyogawithme.com. Do you see that? GT, that's for you. So always start. That's a great place to start. My battery is critically low, so my phone is gonna die soon. But yeah, so that's a great place to start for yoga, because they have a lot of videos, and you can actually buy some and have them on your laptop to use at any time. So yeah, quick recap. Number one, I've just shared how I learned how to run for long. Yeah, let's do it again tomorrow. I'm here every day. I'm tired. Don't worry about me. I'm here every day. I'm sure people are tired of me. But yeah, so I talk about how I learned how to run and the mistakes I made, and how I got like my injuries, what happened, why I had problems because I wasn't stretching, I wasn't warming up, I wasn't strength training, right? So that was like my intro. Then I now talked about how you can avoid what happened to me, and the main things are: check your shoes. That's a long talk, but yeah, let's check your shoes, check how you land, and make sure you don't just get shoes because they are popular shoes. Get shoes because they are functional running shoes, okay? Then if you're buying your shoes, make sure your shoes are at least half a size bigger than your usual size, because your feet expand, swell up, whichever word sounds better to you, while you run. Also, injuries. I hope I can use this video because I haven't looked at my screen. I'm recording myself. Let me show you. There. So anyway, so I have to go now because my camera is probably going to stop soon. So I just said shoes, strength training, stretching. If you have any problems with muscles or tightness or anything yet, you have to start stretching. And if your knees are in agony, please stop running. Do not run through pain. Do not train through pain. I'm tired of hearing people say, both my knees are shot, but I still went for a 10-mile run. Come on. Let's be smart, please. I don't mean to be rude, but think about your body. You only have one body. Don't mess it up because you want to stay fit. You want to burn calories maybe because you had ice cream yesterday. Think about yourself. So don't train through pain, okay? Can I save it to my iPad? I think Jules did that with the scope. She did with the kids training. Yes, I can save that. Any resources for stretching? You're guilty. Oh, a lot online. I'm working on my stretch catalog because I'm so into stretching. So I'll link you to that. But until then, YouTube. I'm tired. YouTube. There are loads of stretches on YouTube. Just just Google something like stretches after running, post running stretch. There's even a post run yoga session on Do Yoga with Me. Okay, so thanks for hanging out with me for so long. I was here for like forever, like 30 minutes. Thanks for hanging out with me. And I'll be back tomorrow. And I hope you found everything I said useful. And sorry, I talk very fast and I talk a lot. But hey, that's me. So make sure you share this with your friends on Twitter, your followers here. If you're not following me already, make sure you follow me now. So swipe up on an Android or swipe right on an iPhone. And I'll be back again tomorrow for sure. Maybe I'll do a little scope during my class this evening. I have a strength class this evening, so might work for getting recording good for both Scope and iTunes. Yeah, the problem with that is that the video is narrow. I'll show you what I mean. I'll put a video up and I'll show you what I mean. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, JT. I really appreciate that. You're awesome too. I know you're in that group, and I'm going to start posting stuff. Actually, I don't know if you accepted my invitation. Accept the invitation. I'm going to start posting stuff on the 1st of September. So thank you so much for the hearts. Wow, thank you so much. Wow, I love it. Thank you. Have a great day. Remember to warm up and stretch, or I'll come and get you wherever you are. I'm serious. All right, take care. Thanks for sharing, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.